Hello, I am Kasleo Lysis. I welcome you all in the subject Building Technology and Architectural Planning. This is the marking scheme as per the university. Building Technology and Architectural Planning. This subject comprises 30 marks in-sem examination and 70 marks end-sem examination. 3 credits are being assigned for this theory paper, whereas 50 marks are being allotted for the term work. Now, term work will comprise of the assignment as suggested or given by the university. This term work comprises of 2 credits. This is the syllabus structure of the university, which comprises of 6 units. First unit is Introduction to the Building Construction and Masonry. Second unit is Building Bylaws and Introduction to the Architectural Drawing. Third unit is Building Components. Fourth unit is Residential Building and Green Building. Fifth unit is Planning of Public Building, and last unit is Town Planning and Legal Aspect. These are the books suggested by the university, which include some textbooks and some reference book. This is the list of assignments that is to be completed so as to assure the term work of 50 marks, which comprises of 2 credits. Total 9 assignments are there, which includes various drawings, layout, sheet on AutoCAD and site visit. Now let us start with the unit number 1, that is Introduction to Building Construction and Masonry. This unit is divided into 2 parts, Introduction to Building Construction, and B part is Masonry. Now, what actually is building? As per National Building Code, that is NBC 2005, building is defined as any structure for whatsoever purpose and of whatsoever material constructed, and every part thereof, whether used as human habitation or not, and which includes foundation, plinth, walls, floor, roof, chimney, plumbing and building services, fixed platforms, veranda, balcony, cornice or projection, part of the building or anything that is affixed thereto, or any wall enclosing or intended to enclose any land or space, and outdoor display structures. In short, building is a structure that may be used for human habitation or may not be used, and which comprises of following building components, that is foundation, plinth, wall, floor, etc. Now these are the types of building as per NBC 2005. These are divided into 9 groups, that is group A, residential building. Residential building is nothing but buildings that is used for residing purpose, for example bungalows, row houses, apartments, etc. Second group is group B, that is educational building. Examples of this educational building is schools and college level buildings. Third one is group C, that is institutional building. These institutional buildings are nothing but penal institutions, custodial institutions or medical institutions. Next one, group D, that is assembly buildings. Assembly buildings are nothing but buildings where public generally gets assembled. For example, open theater, amphitheater, open auditorium, cinema theater, etc. Next, group E, that is business building. Business building is nothing but the building where offices are being there of various sectors such as architecture office, engineer's office, lawyer's office, etc. Banks also comes under this business building. Next, group F, that is mercantile building, where actual retail and service sector trading takes place. Mercantile buildings include shopping complexes, etc. Next one, group G, industrial building. Industrial building is nothing but the building where less hazardous materials are being produced or stored. Next building is group H, that is storage building. Storage building is nothing but buildings where storage of the material is being done, maybe raw material or the finished product. Warehouses, cold storage is nothing but example of storage building. And last one, group I, that is hazardous building, where more hazardous chemicals or materials or the production is done. This sector or these buildings comes under the hazardous building. Mostly factories comes under this. Now next topic is building components. Now basically any building is divided into 2 components, that is substructure and superstructure. The structure beneath the ground level is called as substructure, and structure constructed above the ground level is called superstructure. Now what actually is substructure? Building substructure is the lower part of structural system which is constructed beneath the ground level. Substructure transfers the load. Substructure transfers the load coming from the structural system to the foundation beneath or the soil beneath, which is having sufficient load bearing capacity. It supports and anchors the superstructure safely. It should be designed with proper technique because it assures the stability of the superstructure. Example, the multi-story structure has a basement parking, which is nothing but kind of substructure. Now, substructure comprises of two components, that is foundation, and second one is plain beam. Foundation is nothing but a structural component which transfers the dead load, live load, and all other types of load coming over it to the soil beneath it. As stability of building depends upon the strength of the foundation, it should be made more reliable and strong. As stability of building is totally dependent upon the foundation, hence the foundation should be firm, stiff, more reliable and strong. These are the pictorial views of the foundation. This picture shows the excavated pit where reinforcement is laid. This picture is nothing but This picture shows the reinforcement laid in the foundation pit before concreting, and this picture shows the casted foundation. Now, the major types of foundation are classified as under, that is shallow foundation and deep foundation. Now, shallow foundation is further classified as isolated spread footing, wall footing or strip footing, combined footing, cantilever or strap footing, and last one is raft or mat foundation. Where deep foundation is classified as pile foundation and pier or caisson foundation. Now, shallow foundation is nothing but foundation which is laid at suitable depth, or shallow foundation is nothing but the foundation which is laid at the suitable depth up to 6 to 7 feet beneath the ground level. And when marshy land is available or the firm strata is not available at suitable depth, deep foundations are used. Now, types of foundation. First one, shallow foundation. It is the type of foundation which is placed near the earth's surface that transfers the load to the soil at shallow depth. It is characterized into four types. First one, strip foundation or strip footing. It is the foundation that supports the linear structure such as walls, columns, etc., which are constructed above it. The size and position of this foundation depend on the width of the linear structure, bearing capacity of the soil, and extent of the load. Second one, raft foundation. This is the foundation that is made up of large concrete slab that can support the loads exerted by walls, columns constructed over it. As we know, when area increases, the pressure decreases. Similarly, raft footing has large surface area which reduces the stress on the soil. Hence, it is used when the soil has low load bearing capacity. This picture shows the strip foundation. It is the foundation over which strip wall is being constructed. This is the 2D picture showing the plan and elevation of the strip foundation. Here you can see the raft foundation where common slab footing is provided for the raft or the columns above it. Entire load is transferred from this column to this slab and further it is transferred to the soil beneath this. In this picture you can see that after the completion of the building or the casting of the raft foundation, the basement can be used as parking, also called as substructure. Now, third type of footing is isolated footing. It is nothing but single individual footing which is constructed beneath the column to distribute the concentrated load safely to the bed soil. It is basically used when the load extent is low and the soil is homogeneous. Fourth, combined footing. This kind of footing is built for supporting two or more columns in a straight line where soil bearing capacity is less or overlapping of footing takes place. Example, strap footing is the independent footing of two columns connected by beams. Here you can see the pictorial view of isolated footing. This is nothing but isolated footing, eccentric isolated footing, and this picture shows circular stepped isolated footing. Now, combined slab type footing is divided basically into three types. First one, slab type, second one, slab and beam type, and third is strap type footing. In slab type footing, a slab is provided beneath the two columns. In this, connecting beam is provided to the two columns, and in strap type footing, two isolated footings are connected to each other by the strap beam. In this pictorial view, you can see the slab type footing. Now, combined strap footing. In this pictorial view, you can see the four isolated columns are connected to each other or interlinked to each other with the connecting beam called as strap beam. Here we can see this is nothing but eccentric isolated footing, and when these two footings are interlinked to each other using a strap beam, this is nothing but combined strap type footing. Now next, deep foundation. This kind of foundation is placed at great depth from surface level to transfer the load to the deep layers of soil beneath it. Such type of foundation can mainly be made out of steel, timber, reinforced concrete or prestressed concrete. Example, a good foundation which is made below the water level, mostly for bridges. In this picture, you can see deep foundation. Here, shallow foundation is provided for this bungalow, whereas for this multi-story building, a deep pile foundation is being provided. Now, types of deep foundation. First one is pile foundation. A pile is nothing but a long cylindrical foundation which is analogous to a pole is said to be pile foundation. Such type of foundation can be made up of strong materials such as concrete, steel, timber, etc. Now, in following cases, pile foundation is used. First one, when load extent is high and non-uniform, when groundwater table is high, and third, when the soil has very low load bearing capacity. Second, pier foundation. Most of the foundation depends on their installment methods. Its caissons are watertight structure which are made up of steel, wood or reinforced concrete built above the ground level and then sunken into the ground. There are drill shafts, those are caissons or board piles. They support the structure with large axial and lateral loads. In this picture, you can see the pile foundation where short and long piles are being provided and all the piles are interconnected or joined at the ground level using the pile cap. In this pictorial view, we can see the pile foundation. These piles are being interconnected or joined at the ground level with the help of pile cap. Here you can see the pier foundation. After the pile cap and beneath the superstructure, a pier is provided, that is nothing but pier foundation. In this pictorial view, you can see the pier. Basically, bridges are or deck slab of the bridge is rested on the piers. Now, second building component of the substructure is plinth beam. This is reinforced concrete beam which is in frame or structured form constructed between the wall and the foundation. When the foundation suffers from the settlement, it is provided in such a way to prevent the extension or propagation of the cracks from its foundation into the wall above it. It also reduces the slenderness of the column, and also the minimum dimension of plinth beam is about 20 cm depth, having the width matching the width of the foundation. In this pictorial view, you can see that plinth beam which interconnects all the columns. Second component of the structure is or building is superstructure. The structural component of the building constructed above the ground level constitute the superstructure. The basic components of building superstructure are columns, beams, slab and wall. These components safely transfer the dead load, live load and other loads to the substructure which further distributes it to the underlying earth. Now mentioned below are the basic components of the building superstructure: roof, parapet, lintels, slab, beams, columns, walls, floor, stairs. Now roof is nothing but exterior and uppermost part of any building structure. This structure is covering that is provided to protect the building from the rain, snow, wind, sun and other adverse effects of the environment. A roof deck and roof cover form the two main parts of the roof structure. Second, parapet. Parapet is a short wall barrier that is constructed at the edge of terrace, roof, balcony or walkway as a means of protection. Basically, height of the parapet is considered as or taken as 0.9 meters. Now, third is lintels. A lintel is type of beam structure constructed above all the wall openings to support the load coming over it and transfer safely to the side walls. Basically, width of the lintel is taken equal to the width of the wall and height is taken as minimum 150 mm. Fourth one, slab. Slabs are horizontal structural elements that serve the purpose of the floor, roofs or ceiling. Beam. A beam is horizontal structural element with specific depth and width running with a span. It withstand vertical loads, bending moment and the shear forces. The load coming from the slab is transferred to the beams and beams further transfer the load to the columns beneath it. Columns. The column is vertical structural element that carries compressive loads. This is one of the critical structure of the element in any building structure whose failure can result in progressive collapse of the structure. Load coming from the beams is transferred via columns to the foundation below it. Walls. Walls are vertical surfaces constructed in continuance that divide the enclosed space. Basically, walls are nothing but partition to the floor area. Walls can be constructed either by means of masonry or by means of concrete. In RCC structure, the purpose of wall is nothing but to partition the surface area. 8th one, floor. A floor is defined as finished horizontal surface of a building or a room where people walk. Any floor has two main components, that is subfloor and the floor cover. The subfloor is nothing but slab and floor cover is nothing but the tiling provided. This component imparts strength and stability for the floor structure. 9th one, stair. A stair is series of steps or flight that is constructed to move from one floor to another in a building structure. This is nothing but the means of vertical circulation.